Hello and welcome to our class of 2025 and your families. I'm Rob Virgin. I'm principal here at EPHS, and it is just an honor and a thrill to welcome you to our presentation for our virtual open house around registration or course selection. You'll hear this from me for the next 4 years. This is one of my favorite times of year. It's a time that's just filled with optimism. A lot of people are dreaming big, thinking what if, as you select the courses that you'll take for the following school year. In a lot of places, this is a pretty simple process. We make it as supportive and as clear and concise as we possibly can for you, and we're here with you every step of the way. But the complexity for us is a good thing. It's because of all the opportunities that we afford our students. So 2 of our counselors are with me today, and we are going to walk you through some of the big picture things we want you to have in mind, as well as some of the specific dates throughout the registration window, with the end goal that students select courses that are going to set them up for just an awesome year. That's the start of just an unbelievable experience here at EPHS. Something I want you to know from the outset is that we ground all of our work as a school in effort to students being able to answer yes to these 3 questions. First one is, do I belong here? Second, is this meaningful? And lastly, can I do this? We believe that when students are able to answer yes to these 3 questions, then they're really thriving. Then their academic, personal, social, emotional goals are going to come to life. We believe that the big goals that we have as a school around our graduation rate and other of those kind of data points that we monitor will be exactly where we want them to be when students have these experiences. And the courses kids choose really are closely interconnected and intertwined to these outcomes. We believe that when you have classes that are deeply meaningful to you, that students see themselves in, they feel inspired by, they say, I see myself using this learning in the future, I see my future self applying this, as well as I see the relevance now, then they're set up for a good course experience. And the last question of, can I do this? It's huge. I believe strongly that our kids, when they have the right people and supports around them, can accomplish anything. And they continue to demonstrate this to us. And we've got an amazing team of teachers here, student support people that are just so committed to helping each student that I want our kids to challenge themselves. That's 2 messages you'll hear a lot from me in the coming weeks and in the coming years is challenge yourself and pursue your passions. When you do that, good things happen, and you will find success within that challenge. If I had to summarize one word that I'd want you to have in mind as you pick courses for next year and as you develop that 4-year plan, it's to maximize. Maximize your time in high school so that you're set up for whatever it is you want to do when you leave here. That's our ultimate goal, is that kids have a good time here. They look back on this as a fun-filled time with laughter and good relationships. And they also leave saying, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever it is I want to do next. Good part is we have really unmatched opportunities. Our course catalog, as you're learning, I'm sure, is huge, and we've added to it this year. We have a lot of opportunities in arts, athletics, activities. We just want you to be able to take advantage of those. To help with that, we have a great schedule that really promotes student choice. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, but our block schedule, kind of the quick summary of it is students have 4 periods a day for 90 minutes, and the point I want you to hear is not necessarily how it works, but just know that that allows students more choice throughout their 4 years. Now, of course, we don't have limitless time, so students do have to make choices at times and trade-offs of what it is they want to study. But we, with our structure of a block, with the amount of courses we have, as well as some really focused work we're engaging in around how do we eliminate and minimize barriers for students to get into classes, they really have a lot of choice. And whether it's course selection or really anything that we do, when we're providing students and families choice, we're usually in a pretty good spot and we end up with good outcomes. And course selection is definitely somewhere where we want to be. These are courses that have been added that are new for next year. I include them in all of our presentations in case you're familiar with our course catalog. You'll realize that, recognize that these are new, so I want to call your attention to them. I also call your attention to them because you might not be hearing chatter about them because we haven't had students take them. That's all the classes on the left. The ones on the right are ones that have been added in recent years. But I also included in this ninth grade presentation for our rising ninth graders so that you know this is our culture. We anticipate that we'll add a handful or two handfuls of courses each year, and we want your voice in that. Two of the courses we're adding next year actually originated with student proposals, which we think is pretty cool, and we think that our students are really going to benefit from that next year and in the years to come. So this is something to keep an eye on over the next 4 years, and as we start to continue that what if thinking of what will the course catalog look like when it comes time for you to graduate. I also include this slide now. It was part of your immediate future, but also as you make that 4-year plan. We have a lot of college level classes here. Here's some of them. We have AP, which is Advanced Placement, which is a national level program. We also have concurrent enrollment with some universities, and we have other opportunities for students to take college level coursework. You have some great opportunities for this next year. The primary ones come from computer science as well as in social studies. And those courses our ninth graders find success in regularly, and we believe that you can do it. Over your 4 years, we have a vision that each one of our students will take a college level class and be successful in it. We've made some strides toward that vision this year, and we intend to make some strides toward that next year. So I include this today, not to say you need to take all of these classes or that you need to register for them as ninth graders, but just to plant that seed that I want you thinking about where will you fit in, where are your passion areas where you'll try a college level course while you're here. We know that students that do so, research demonstrates to us that are more likely to be successful when they leave high school. We also know that you can do it. We have a deep-seated belief that each student can learn at high levels, and we want you to know that. Last message I have before Lisa Queering, one of our counselors, joins to give you even more information on the registration process is keep your passion in mind. Ask yourself these questions. What are you interested in? What might you want to do after high school? I assume you don't have concrete answers to those, but they're still worth floating around in your mind. You have a lot of voices encouraging you to go a certain way, your friends, your family, me, current teachers, future teachers. As long as you root your decisions in what you're passionate about, you're doing the right thing and you're on the right track. So don't lose sight of that. I'll be back at the very end of the presentation to give you some concluding remarks, but here is Lisa for more on our registration process. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thank you for that. I'm super excited to be doing this presentation as well, in that this is also an area that I'm passionate about. I always think it's super exciting to work with the incoming 8th graders and talking about what the opportunities and options could be for them here at the high school. As we look at this slide with graduation requirements, this gives you an overall look as to what a student needs to earn an Eden Prairie High School diploma. I know as a 8th grader coming into high school, your 9th grade year, it might feel as though, wow, that's a lot to be done, but I will tell you in the blink of an eye. Look at the graduation picture here to the side and reflect back as it was only 4 years ago, I was sitting in the same seat as the parent of an incoming freshman, and she's a senior this year, will be graduating. And although at points you think the days might seem long, the weeks really go fast, and in the blink of the eye, like I say, graduation is here. So when we look at this graduation requirements, 54 are needed overall to earn a diploma. Each of the specific requirements are listed there: 8 in English, 8 social studies, 6 math, 6 science, 2 PE, 1 health, 1 tech, 1 business, and 2 creative arts. As we break that down, one of the things that Mr. Virgin already spoke a little bit about is a block schedule. Different from the middle school, the high school is on a block schedule, which really does allow students a lot of opportunity and time to be able to get the coursework in that they would like, not only for a year, but for the full 4 years. How that differs is students will have 4 classes that they would focus in on for one time for each term. I think that's also a big plus when you talk with our students as to kind of their thoughts on a block schedule. Sometimes maybe 86 minutes might feel a little bit long for each period. However, to focus on 4 classes per term is kind of a nice way of simplifying it rather than to have so many different subjects they need to be juggling. So with that said, each core class is equal to 1 credit, would take the place of 1 period per term. required courses are generally going to be 2 terms. So what would be normally taught in a full year would actually run for 2 terms. This is a sample of a 9th grade schedule. As you look at this each term, so here's where you can see English 9, for example, would be 2 of the terms rather than for all 4. And this is a nice way of kind of balancing out where maybe you have English and science for the first half and math and social studies the second half, filled with additional elective credits. English requirements. As an incoming freshman, you would be required to take 2 credits of English. The credits that fulfill those options would be English 2, which is our traditional class, Honors English, which there is summer reading required, as well as our English 9 in 4 terms. The English 9 in 4 terms is a teacher recommendation class where it is more for students who need that just broke down a little bit slower versus the pace of a 2-term class. But for the most part, English 9 and Honors English 9 are probably the 2 classes most students would be signing up for. The next department is our social studies requirements. For freshmen, we're super excited to have new to us this year, which will be your class continuing in it next year, the AP Human Geography course. That is a 2-term class that will fulfill your freshman social studies requirements. If you are not looking for the AP rigor and you're hoping for the traditional class options, those would be 1 credit of Democratic Foundations and 1 credit of Human Geography. Make sure when you're doing the registration, which we'll talk a little bit more about specifically here coming up, but that you are signing up and requesting both Democratic Foundations for 1 credit and Human Geography for the other credit, or 1 course of listing the AP Human Geography that would fulfill 2 credits. The next department would be our science requirements. As you can see here, physical science is the course that's typically taken your freshman year. Students have the options to do either a basic physical science, which does need to be recommended by your science teachers currently, or the regular physical science 9A and B, or an honors physical science 9A and B. With those opportunities, you can see again with a block schedule, some of our students may decide to double up in this area. For example, if they took honors physical science, they may choose to do honors biology as well. The biggest thing that I really talk with my students about when they look at doubling up is to make sure the purpose, kind of what your intentions are behind that. If you're looking to accelerate and to be able to get through all of our courses, that would be a great reason to do that. If you're looking to get ahead and just get requirements done, that would not be the best way. Because, for example, if you took biology as a freshman as well, sophomore year decide to do only chemistry and choose to quit at that point, you would not have science on for your 11th and 12th grade year. It's really important that colleges and opportunities after high school that you've been exposed to that science each year. So keep that in mind when you kind of ask if you should be doubling up, but those would be science requirements. The next department is our math one. Math can be a little bit confusing and I think probably challenging for all of us at some points to figure out which is the best place. But for the most part, 8th graders are probably taking Algebra 1 right now at the middle school. And so if that is the case, the next level for you would be geometry. If you are looking for the honors version again, you could take an honors geometry, which is also available to students. Again, they do talk a little bit about not doubling up with math the freshman year, but if that is something you're interested in, you could also talk with our gifted and talented coordinator, Steve Rowland, to see if that would be a good fit for you or your current math teachers. If you're a student who is in the pre-algebra class, Algebra 1 would be the course that you would take your freshman year. This would be a graph. Yes, as you can imagine, math has been complicated, so we've had to come up with a kind of step-by-step process as to a flow chart if you're determining which classes you should take. The highlighted ones on this slide would be ones that fulfill our requirements. So as you can see, you need your algebra, geometry, algebra 2, a statistics course would meet our full requirements. But again, many of our students will go beyond that and take credits in addition to those. So you can see from the flow chart as to what would maybe be the next best step for you as you do registration in the following years. Choices. One of the biggest things, again, that Mr. Virgin has talked about is this high school is pretty amazing and we have a lot of opportunities for students that are not available to any student in any other traditional high school. So we really, really recommend that you use your time in the 4 years here to try something new, to take a look in a class that you might not have typically taken a course in. This might be a place where you find your true friends, your true passion in a career or something that you want to pursue. So again, keep these in mind that there's choices in so many different areas. Next, I'm going to be passing this over to Miss Amanda Bose-Tepe, another one of our counselors. Thanks. Hi, families and students. I'm Amanda Bostepe. I'm one of the 8 counselors that we have up here at the high school. This is going to be probably the key form that you will use in regards to registration. As incoming ninth graders, I know the whole process could be somewhat confusing, and I'm hoping that this form has made it all that much easier for you, as it has detailed exactly what you need to take as a ninth grader to know that you've fulfilled all of your requirements. So we will have a registration hub. That's just kind of like the center of everything registration. And you'll be able to find this planning form along with the course offering guide, all of the videos, everything's going to be in that one centralized location. So as you can see, the front of this form has outlined exactly what Ms. Queering just talked about. So you have all your English choices, social studies choices, math choices, science choices, and then all the great electives that you get to take throughout all 4 years here at high school. On the back of this form, there are 4 grids with 16 blocks, so that's our block scheduling. And sometimes some students find it easier to schedule out the next 4 years in pencil, of course, because I imagine things are going to change. Just to make sure that they can fit in what they need to. Is doubling up a good option? Is doubling up not a good option? Are you a music kid? Might you run out of room? So those are all questions that are swirling around in everyone's heads. And in a slide or two, I'm going to go through how we can answer some of those questions. And actually, it's just a slide. So here is a calendar that we're using to show you exactly what you have available at your fingertips between January and February, the registration, or as we call it, the registration period. I don't even, refer to the month anymore. It's just registration time in a counselor's head. Registration open house will come up on the 26th. And actually, for parents or students, if you guys want to get out your cell phone right now, you can take a picture of this and then you can just keep it on your phone so that you can add it to whatever calendars might be easier for you to reference. And that's when our registration hub is up. You guys can go and you can check it out. It might be open earlier, but this is when you can officially go in and start registering. So coming up on the 28th, you can see we'll have a live Q&A Zoom in regards to music and a live Q&A Zoom in regards to honors and AP. So you guys are welcome to join that. Families are going to be asking questions. You can just listen if you want to, or if you have specific questions, you can add them in there too. On February 1st, 3 to 5, we have what's called a hotline. And so you'll have access to the counselors up here at the high school during that time. And what we ask is that you call your future student's counselor. And I'll show on the next slide who that is. And it's according to Alpha. And we'll have our numbers on that hub as well for you to access us. On Tuesday, the 2nd of February, I think this is going to be your most important date for you guys to note. At 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., we have the question and answer session specifically for incoming ninth grade families. That will be hosted by a group of people, a counselor, our gift and talented, an administrator, and just come in and just listen. If you don't have questions, it would be great to get some information that way. Or if you have a ton of questions, bring them and we'll get to as many as we can. And then coming in on the 4th at 6 p.m., we'll have separate live Zoom sessions for question and answers for families, our Hispanic families, our Somali families, and our Black families. So if you'd feel more comfortable in that scenario, by all means, come join that. We also ask that you meet with your current counselor. That is, if you are at Central Middle School right now, they are very used to this process as well and can help guide you. So however you can access your counselor currently in the distance learning model, that's how you do that to answer or to ask them questions. On the 8th, we have that hotline again. On the 9th and 10th, then we have more specific Q&A sessions with world language. I know some of you are immersion families and you might have some specific questions about what that will look like. And then perhaps you'll have questions in, how would honors English help me with college planning? And that 10th, that college planning session would be a good time. And then finally, we close on the 12th of February. And that's a very important date to make sure that you get all of your courses listed in at that point in time. Because then we take that, we create sections, and we can start planning for next year's courses. How to register online. You're going to log into your campus school page like you do right now as an 8th grader at Central Middle School. You're going to click on the more on the left-hand side, and then you're going to select course registration 21-22. Once you're in there, you can search for the course by name, and then you'll go through and you'll just add that option. Also, along with this, we're going to have one of our counselors do another Loom video like this that's going to actually walk you through step by step. So you could find that on the hub as well if you're finding this a confusing process. So here are the counselors. You can see by alphabet. There's me. I have students with the last names M-O-O through R-A-J. Some of you might have dealt with us before. You might have older siblings. Some of us, we might be new. I'm just going to move this up real quick so you can see that Robin Zadowski is SW through Z. So please make a note of this. Take a picture of this if you want to, so that you know who to contact for that hotline. Last thing I would just like to say is that, oh, sorry, I'm going to come back to this. That's Miss McNamara is our college and career student specialist, and Mr. Rollin is our gifted and talented coordinator. Mr. Rollin's also going to be running the hotlines along with us, so you can reach out to him through his direct dial. And then Ms. McNamara is going to be running some of the Q&A sessions along with us. And the point of this is to let you guys know that you have ample resources at your fingertips. I know this can be an overwhelming experience. There's so many choices, but hopefully we broke it down in a manner that allows you to be able to piece it apart and put your puzzle back together the way you see fit for your student, or yourself if you're the student listening to this presentation. And I appreciate you sticking with us. Last thing to note too is it doesn't matter if you, I'm going to go back to this slide real quick. It doesn't matter if you input your classes on the 26th of January or if you input your classes on the 12th of February. It all just stays in the system. We don't run out of course sections. You're not going to miss out on any opportunity if you are a person that would like to wait until the last minute. It's open and available for you to put in as late as you need to, and you won't miss out on anything. So we are now going to hear final thoughts from Mr. Virgin. Thank you. It was nice meeting you all.
All right. Thank you, Lisa and Amanda. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully, that was some helpful information for you. It's a lot, no doubt. And please continue to just be in touch. We hope tonight is the start of a series of interactions in a 4-year journey of partnership. There's a lot of resources on our website, including a button to ask a question, including our email contacts and phone numbers. So just there's a little distance between us right now, but we will figure this out over the next couple of weeks to make sure you have exactly what you need. And I hope you're as excited as we are. Students, know this, that our belief is kind of what we have on the slide here, is we're not telling you these are going to be the breeziest 4 years of your life, but we're telling you it's going to be worth it. It's going to be a ton of fun. You're going to have some great relationships that will last you a lifetime with classmates, also with the adults in this building that just care so deeply for kids. And you're going to get set up with experiences that are going to prepare you for a lifetime. So make the most of it. That starts with being thoughtful in your course selection. Challenge yourself, pursue your passions, and partner. We are here for you. So thanks for your time in this presentation, and we look forward to connecting with you more. Take care.